Hello, I hope you're having a great day. This is Story Dive, back again, reacting to another sneak peek of Cobra Kai Season 2 that was just released. I'll be honest, there's not as much going on in this sneak peek, and really, most of it is self-explanatory, but I just like shooting the proverbial about Cobra Kai and engaging with people in the comments, hearing everybody's theories. What do you expect? I'm a Karate Kid nerd, so I'm gonna do my best to break down everything going on in this clip, and what it might mean for the series. It starts out with Daniel working on his dojo, which is in Mr. Miyagi's old house that has been purchased by Daniel, and he's maintaining it, and that's where his students will learn Miyagi-Do karate. Robbie comes into the dojo and he picks up the drum from the Karate Kid 2. At one point in the movie, Mr. Miyagi hands him this little toy drum and says,
"Secret of Miyagi family karate."
This is a secret of your family's karate?
Right?
Daniel, then, studying this, eventually uses the teaching of the drum in the final fight against Chozen. I'll be honest, I've watched Karate Kid 2 I don't know how many times, and I'm still not sure what the secret of the drum is. It seemed to me it's something to do with rhythm. You have to understand timing and rhythm and attack at a specific time. But in the movie, it kind of just looks like he's doing really sloppy haymakers in a very rhythmic, predictable way, which would probably be very easy to block if you just put your hands up around your head. But it's a movie. If someone has a theory on what the drum is in Karate Kid 2, what its meaning is, and if it actually relates to any real karate technique, then please let me know in the comments below, because I've been wondering about that for years. Probably just a movie device. Daniel says,
"Careful, that drum saved my life."
It actually did save his life because Chozen was gonna kill him. They were having a fight to the death, and the very predictable, sloppy haymakers that he learned from the drum is what allowed him to defeat Chozen. This type of hand drum is usually called a Chinese rattle in English, and it is a kid's toy. So when Daniel says,
"It's just a toy,"
he's telling the truth. And in Karate Kid 2, when Chozen says,
"Oh, you mean a baby rattle?"
he's telling the truth. And then he says,
"Then again, not everything in Miyagi-Do is always as it seems."
Which I think is a reference to the way Mr. Miyagi taught him, instructed him in the first Karate Kid.
Show me wax on, wax off. That!
There is a bit of a deceptive element to Miyagi-Do. I shouldn't say deceptive, but an element of hiding the truth so that you can find the truth in a more meaningful way. That probably doesn't describe it accurately, but you get the idea. Then Robbie goes over to Mr. Miyagi's Medal of Honor. If you're curious about how Miyagi got the Medal of Honor, before Cobra Kai came out, I did a video about Mr. Miyagi and why he's the greatest mentor, which you can watch by clicking in the upper right-hand corner. And actually a really stupid mistake I made in that video is I called it the Medal of Valor, not the Medal of Honor. It was just a brain fart that I didn't notice in editing. In any case, Mr. Miyagi's history, which is revealed in the anniversary scene in the first Karate Kid, the one where he's drunk, is that after leaving Okinawa as a young man, he went to California, where he met his wife. Then at the onset of World War II, he and his wife were put in the Manzanar Relocation Center, which is one of the internment camps that Japanese Americans were put in during World War II. Miyagi's wife was pregnant, but Miyagi had to leave because he wanted to fight in the war. And you might be wondering, why would he fight for America in the war when America put him in an internment camp? But the reality was a lot of young men in these internment camps joined the 442nd Infantry Regiment, which was a unit of almost exclusively Japanese American soldiers. Miyagi joined this regiment, fought in World War II, and was awarded the Medal of Honor for bravery. And actually, that was not uncommon for the 442nd, because they were one of the most decorated regiments in American military history. Their motto was "Go for broke," and they were known for doing some of the most dangerous missions. The unit was awarded 8 Presidential Unit citations, and 21 members were awarded the Medal of Honor. So in the fictional world of the Karate Kid, Miyagi was one of those men. However, while he was fighting overseas, his wife died as the result of complications in childbirth, and you find out in the movie that no doctor came to help her in the camp. So that's a big part of Miyagi's character that sort of haunts him, and probably why he never married again, never had another son, and why Daniel sort of becomes spiritually his son. Then Robbie notices the famous Miyagi-Do scrolls, which we saw first in The Karate Kid 2. And actually the clip shows scenes from The Karate Kid 2, which, by the way, I'm a sucker for nostalgia. I love whenever they show clips from the original movies. And as Miyagi did in The Karate Kid 2, he says,
First rule of Miyagi-Do karate. Karate is for defense only.
Rather than saying, rule number 2, see rule number 1, Daniel says,
It's really all about that first rule.
So I was actually wondering what the characters say on these scrolls. I don't read Japanese characters or Chinese characters. I know that the first 2 characters on the rule number 1 scroll are the Japanese characters for karate, but under that, some people have said that they are Chinese characters, and that what's under it says something like, first cultivate the heart. So why are they written in Chinese? Well, I'm assuming these scrolls are very old, and actually Okinawa was not part of Japan until 1879, when it was annexed into Japan, but before that it was its own kingdom called the Ryukyu Kingdom, and they had their own language. However, according to Wikipedia, their writing system would have been a mixture of Japanese and Chinese characters, like hiragana, kanji, and kanbun, which is a form of classical Chinese writing. So I'm actually not sure if, given all that information, these characters make sense, and if anyone in the comments can actually read these, then maybe they can help clarify that. But the history of Okinawa, the Ryukyuan Kingdom, is a very interesting history, and it's a very unique culture. Distinct culture from Japan in a lot of ways. Robbie says,
Guess Mr. Miyagi would make an exception for Cobra Kai.
which, if you know Mr. Miyagi, he really wouldn't make an exception to these rules. These are foundational. And just because Cobra Kai may have done bad things, maybe their philosophy is bad, Miyagi would never corrupt himself. He would never lower himself beneath his own standards to fight someone else. And I think that's part of the reason why Daniel gives Robbie this kind of look, because Daniel has been going pretty hard at Cobra Kai, and now he's created this whole dojo to kind of fight Cobra Kai. In his own mind, it's justified, because the way he sees it, he's spreading a good, just style of karate in order to wipe out a bad style of karate. But if he's doing it just to crush Cobra Kai, is his style really good? I mean, isn't that a little hypocritical? Would Mr. Miyagi really approve of what he's doing? And then Robbie also mentions his dad.
I mean, when my dad finds out what we're up to, he is not gonna know what hit him.
Which I think also adds to Daniel's look that he gives him, because Daniel didn't intend to steal Johnny's son away. When he found out that Robbie was Johnny's son, he was very upset, but in the end, he realized that he had been a sensei to this kid, and he had helped this kid, so for the final tournament, he supported him, as a good sensei should. Robbie is kind of laughing here, but it seems like his intent is malicious toward his own dad, and I don't think Daniel really wants any part of that. That wasn't his intention, to steal Johnny's son and then use his own son against him. So it's gotten to a very complicated place for Daniel. He's questioning what he's doing, much like Johnny in the last clip was questioning what he's doing. They're both a little bit confused and trying to find the right path. We'll see what happens. What do you think Daniel's look means? What do you think's going on in his head? And how will this play into the plot of Cobra Kai Season 2? I'd love to know what you think in the comments below. I enjoyed this little clip. I got some great nostalgia feels, and it makes me want to watch Karate Kid 2 again for the millionth time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will definitely do some Cobra Kai videos in the future, so you want to stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Until next time.